I'm a rock star, I'm a raised like rail. I ain't taking L's in Madden all year.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rage Rail. So in today's video, I want to kind of switch it up. So instead of doing a mini scheme, I actually want to show you guys some tips that you can use to make you a better Madden player. So if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn those post notifications on. So just in case you guys are curious, I'm actually in the balanced offensive playbook. Again, I'm actually in the balanced offensive playbook, and on defense, I'm in multiple defense since that's a really popular defensive shell. Well, not shell, excuse me, defensive playbook. So what this video is going to be dedicated towards is showing you how to block when you actually can't max protect and get as many people as you need to basically block a blitz. So I'm gonna show you creative ways to actually maximize max protecting is a better way to put it. So I hope this video is helpful to you, and it's going to be kind of short and sweet, hopefully about 10 minutes at the most, because I want to show you just different scenarios, different formations, and some formations like what you can do if you can't max protect, and a couple ways to help you out. Okay, so we're going to kind of talk about that, and it's essentially going to be how to beat the blitz or block the blitz. Is a better way to put it. So without further ado, man, let's go on and get into it. So the reason I came up with this video is because I actually was going to come out in tight flex, single back tight flex. I got asked if I could do a video on this formation, and I noticed it was really hard to block the blitz whenever I was using this, so it kind of forced me to come up with creative ways. Now these are ways that's already been in Madden. Some of you guys may know some of these, some of you guys may not. Some of you guys are newer players, some of you guys are veterans, you know, so this is why I chose to make this video. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna come out in single back tight flex just to talk about it at first, and we'll come out in just a basic play. So PA draw cross, we're gonna come out in. Now the play doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is the formation. So most of the time when you're under center or anything like that, you're gonna get a 3-4 or 4-3 type of formation. So we're gonna just go to 4-3. We're gonna go to just cover 4 drop just because. Now this is not a mini scheme video, okay? So basically what I'm gonna do is mimic blitzing. So I'm gonna blitz all my linebackers, and I'm gonna press to get these guys in the gaps, because normally this is the style of defense you're gonna see when you actually play online. So the problem is if you have any type of formation where when you max protect, so I'm gonna hit L1 and I'm gonna hit up. So notice I just max protect, and look what happens. So nobody is actually going to block. Why? Because we don't have anybody else attached to the line of scrimmage. So what you can do is, a couple of you guys already noticed, some of you guys might not. So what you can do is you can actually motion over a receiver, and you want to play around with the formation in practice mode, because some formations will let you do crazy things. Like for example, right here we can actually block Adam Thielen if we want to. We can try motioning over our fullback or our tight end. Notice how he doesn't go across, he goes to a fullback. And we could put them out there. Now I'm just doing this, guys, just so you can understand that anytime after you max protect, whoever you motion across will actually become a blocking receiver. So what that means is sometimes there are certain formations that don't let you. So notice right here how we motion him across, and he does not, and that's only because he doesn't. That's only because he goes all the way to the other side of the line of scrimmage, which is why. But notice right here that we can actually block as many people as we want. Now, moving forward, what I want to talk to you next about is, okay, what to do with this information. So what I like to do is let's actually just walk everybody out the gap. So I'm gonna spread my linebackers, and I'm gonna pinch them again just to kind of bring everybody back. Now, what I want to show you next is so let's go ahead and max protect. So you see we are max protecting. Now I'm gonna motion this guy, and then I'm gonna motion him back out. So there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things, because there's a lot of formations where you actually can get an outside blocker like this. Like, yes, it looks cool, but what you need to realize is that when you do something like this, now the play call doesn't matter. Now when you do something like this, notice what he does. Notice how he's going to absolutely do nothing. Okay, so it's one of those things that, like, if you're not careful, you might think just because you're blocking an extra person out there that he's going to automatically do his job. Sadly, that is not the case at all. So you notice right here, notice how he just comes down and he just does nothing. Now this does consistently happen in Madden, unfortunately. Now there are a couple things you can do to help yourselves out. So let's kind of do the same thing. We're going to max protect. We're going to take our tight end, who's a receiver, motion him back out to receiver. Now, sometimes there are things that you can do. So if you know your opponent's blitzing, you see the little M with the mic, sometimes you could play around with this. So sometimes you could try IDing them on different spots. If you really want to block that person and you're noticing that they're still blitzing, you can play this game if you want to, but there is an easier way, which I'm going to show you here in a second. So let's say we try to ID that guy, right? So notice how the tight end does nothing. He comes back, and he does kind of do something, but he actually does something different this time. He actually shoots all the way out to the right. And again, this is just programming issues. So I'm just showing you what you should not do, basically. So anytime you want to block somebody, because maybe they're blitzing, the best way to do it is to use the slot receivers in whatever formation it is. So normally always use the slots no matter what, because what we're going to do now is max protect. We're going to take, let's just say we wanted to take Adam Thielen, motion him over. I'm going to go ahead and block my running back, and then we're going to send him back, right? So notice what happens that now we actually get him on a blitz. Now we can run a play that looks something like this. I would probably run this like this if they were blitzing at me, if you wanted just a quick little setup. But what's most important here is you play around with who you ID, because normally this will help your receiver block better. So what me personally, what I like to do is if I'm blocking my receiver, notice how the ID's on the linebacker. I like to actually tell my receiver to block the closest defender that I think is blitzing. So in this case, I think it's him blitzing. So I want my receiver to try to block him. So now, actually I didn't even blitz. That's my fault. We'll go ahead and dump that down. But you can tell it's still a nice setup right there though. But I plan on doing a mini scheme with this formation probably in the next video or maybe the other video. But it's definitely come out. I'm definitely going to do one on this formation. But we're going to take a look at other formations too. Don't worry about that. But I just literally forgot to block my running back. I forgot the blitz, excuse me. That's what I forgot to do. But anyways, real quick, we'll set up the same way because this is still a nice setup versus the blitz. But what you want to do is you want to always ID the person that's closest to the receiver that's blocking. And I tell you that because it's not human nature to do that, because you're just going to just set up the play. And normally the IDs are always going to stay on one of these two guys, always, unless you manually move it yourself. And we're going to put it right here on the end guy. And a lot of times, notice how he's going to block down. And then just look at how we're able to actually, we're able to have time in the pocket, and he does exactly what we want him to do. So again, it's really, really important that you always tell them to block the guy that you think is blitzing, and that's why he's going to pick him up, and then we're going to do a great job. Now, you might be wondering, well, will we do it automatically? And the answer to that is sometimes. If you don't ID him, so this time I'm not going to ID him, and I'll let you see what happens, but we're going to max protect. Always make sure you max protect, and that's the only way you're going to get him to come back. So anyways, if you don't ID him, it's just a hit or miss, honestly, from what I could tell. So notice right here how they kind of swap. I don't know if you noticed it, but they swap. Yes, they still block them, but it's not as smooth, if that makes sense. It's not as smooth, and I'll go ahead and show you an example here. So again, notice how we didn't ID anybody, and they kind of passed it off, and then this, and sometimes in games, this is how you get instant sacks. Notice how he just barely gets them. That doesn't happen all the time, okay? I'm on all Madden practice mode, so this just doesn't happen all the time, but you never want to play around with that, so just kind of showing you why I think it's important for you to do that. Now, moving forward, I kind of want to talk to you about other formations. I don't want you to think it's just with this particular formation that we can do something like that. So what we're going to do here is take a look at another one, and then we'll look at a gun formation, and then that'll be it. So let's just say, yeah, let's do this one. Why not? So let's just go to something simple like stick, because the play call doesn't matter at all. I just want you to see why it's important. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna blitz, and then we'll go ahead and crash our line up to try to simulate a good blitz. We'll go ahead and get that guy in the gap, because this is a really, really common defense you'll see when you're under center. But anyways, notice right here. So if we max protect, right? So technically we have 3 routes out on the field, but let's say for some reason we wanted our tight end to run a route, right? So let's say we really liked this drag, and we wanted to get another blocker. So what we can do here is, what I like to do is I like to what's the word I'm looking for? I like to pre-ID, if that makes sense. So if I believe this guy right here is blitzing, or where it looks like he's going to send the most pressure from, that's where I like to ID. So I'm planning on motioning my tight end to the left. So what I want to do is go ahead and ID him already. And then after I ID him, I'm going to go ahead and motion him, and he's going to block. So now when he blocks, well, I think I messed that up. My bad. I think I should have snapped it a hair earlier, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, when you motion him, you always want to, I think it's personally better if you actually ID him first. And then that way you'll be able to actually get a good block on him. So we'll just run it like this just for now, just to run it how we have it. And we're going to go ahead and just motion him across. And again, notice how it switches. So now what happens here is that everybody matches up real nice. And of course, if we're doing a zone blitz, that's actually a really good play also for a zone blitz, if you didn't know. That's why I said I like my tight end to go out. And this is a good play for zone blitzing. And you can do this out of any stick formation that has a tight end little stop route. Just real quick, you know I love talking about mini schemes, okay? You know I love this. But the reason why it's good, of course, you can tell, is that we'll have this open every time. If they're sending a zone style blitz, you know, you make a 1-2 read. Now obviously the user will shoot here, and you know you'll just be making a 1-2 read. But anyways, you get the point, which is what I was trying to tell you, is that you force this tight end to worry about one of these two guys, because we ID'd him. So that's why he actually turned and came back this way, because we ID'd him. And at this point, it forces the running back to pick up who he actually would like him to pick up, which is the middle linebacker, which is what they do in real life. But it doesn't always work this way. That's why I like to actually ID first and then motion him over. And if the ID switches, then I like to actually manually put it back on the end guy, you know, because ideally that's who we want our receiver to block. So again, we'll take a look at one gun formation, and that's going to be the video. And again, this video is just kind of showing you how to deal with the blitz. And we'll do it out of another formation too. So you guys just, you know, we'll do it out of, we'll go Mike Blitz 0. Why not? So we'll go to something like tight slots, because you can do this versus any blitz. And we'll do, it don't matter the play call. We'll just run bench switch. It doesn't matter. Now, notice when I max protect, so I hit L1, I max protect. Notice how, again, our two receivers, nobody's blocking other than our running back, because they are not attached to the line of scrimmage. And again, this video is predicated towards those tight offset tight ends, those tight slots, those gun tights, those single back, you know, tights, you know, those type of formations is where the value of this video comes from. So again, we know that if we max protect first and then we motion over our guy, so the reason I'm showing you this, because don't be scared. So just because we motion him over, he doesn't block, it's okay. But when you send him back, he's actually going to block, okay? So this will help you in your setup. So now, like I said, notice how the ID's on the middle. I personally always like to put mine on the edge guy, but I'll show you. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it don't. But here we go right here. So notice how that time he automatically blocked them, and then we did get time. But it doesn't always happen like that, okay? So I just like to do, for me personally, like a rule of thumb is, also you can do it this way too, but I like to always just make sure that I ID the end man on the line of scrimmage who's closest to the guy that's blocking. That's just me personally. So again, I like to just always ID this guy. I find it better. I find that it helps a lot more. But you know, it all depends on your personal preference, obviously. So and then again, you can still do this style of setup. I really love this setup, by the way, with the drags right here, where I have a drag and then reading that. And then sometimes if it's zone, I will put that guy on a little stop route right there. But again, this is not a mini scheme style video. But again, I wouldn't do that versus man. That's more of a zone setup. But y'all, you guys know I love talking about my mini schemes, man. I love it. But all right, if we're being serious though, if you know they're playing a man blitz and you want to use this setup, just take this guy right here and put him on a zig. Put him on a zig or an out route, and I'll show you that here in a second. But anyways, you get the point. So when we ID this guy right here, he's going to block him, and they just do a good job, honestly. That's why I love it. They just, you know, I feel like personally they block better. And again, you can still use this setup versus man coverage. It's just that if you wanted to run this versus man, if for some reason you just, you know, you're running like a gun tight and you're running this little bench play, which is in almost every single gun tight in Madden, then you can actually just do a setup that looks something like this, if that makes sense. Or you can do something like that. It just depends on who the matchup is. Now, since I know I have a really great route runner, I'm cool with the zig route, because Justin Jefferson better be able to win on the zig route, you know, versus whoever that is, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's getting beside the point. But you guys get the idea. I'll take a look at a replay one more time, and I'll kind of talk about it, and then that's gonna be the video. So again, you can kind of tell right here, we're gonna get a great block on this guy, and everybody's just gonna line up all perfectly, and everything's all nice. So I try to do the best of both worlds and give you guys a tip. I'll also give you a small little mini scheme and tips on if you want to beat the zone blitz or man blitz. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this wasn't a waste of time for a video, and if you did enjoy it, please do me a favor and drop a like on it. That is legit the only way that I know you guys enjoy these style of videos where I do tips. And if you didn't, you know, I don't mind you letting me know in the comments. Just please be respectful. I try to promote positivity only. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, like I said, drop a like on it. If not, let me know in the comments, and I won't do these style of tip videos no more. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.